What is HPSP? My name is Jonah and I'm a fourth year medical student. After a recent TikTok I made, a bunch of you have DM'd me and I can't reply to all of them, so instead I'm going to make this two-part video series. In this first part, I'm going to address three basic things. A quick overview of what the program is. Second, basic requirements for the program. And thirdly, I'm going to address some common misconceptions and the most commonly asked questions that I see throughout the DMs. So let's get started. So HPSP stands for Health Profession Scholarship Program and is offered by three branches of the military: the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. What it does is it covers the full cost of tuition for medical school. You get a $2,700 stipend every month. You also get a $20,000 signing bonus at the beginning of medical school, but they tax the hell out of that $20,000. So it's actually $14,000. They got me. But it's actually $14,000 paid in 2 or 3 lump sums. A large chunk at the beginning, and then a couple months later you get the rest. You also get the health and dental insurance that every military member would get, and you are officially a commissioned officer of the United States military. Once accepted into the program, you will begin medical school like everyone else. You will do medical school. The only thing that will be different about your medical school experience is that you do have to, at some point, usually people do it after the first year of medical school because you still have a summer break. At that point, you have to go to a 5-week officer development school. It's not a boot camp, if I'm being real with you. It is the lightest form of military boot camp out there, probably. Like, they are desperate. They need you to pass. They need you. And there are some people that go and they don't really pass, but they need doctors bad, so they push them through anyway. Trust me, it's not that hard. So if you're scared of the physical requirement of that period of time, 1, it's never too late to start exercising and working on your fitness. And 2, you can do anything for 5 weeks if you want it bad enough. So after you complete that, you'll do medical school like everyone else. The only difference will be at the end, your match process will be different. You will have to do 2 match processes. You'll have to apply to the military match and the civilian match, or what everyone knows is like ERAS, because the military match happens in December before the civilian match that happens in March. If you are accepted into a military match position, then your civilian application is withdrawn and you're fine. You're just gonna go do your military match. But if you are accepted into a civilian match position, then you will just continue on into March to do the regular match. Now, after that, you must complete residency. And once you complete residency, whether that's civilian
or military, because you can do a civilian residency through the scholarship. There's a lot of things that I will explain in the second part, but right now I'm just trying to get through explaining what it is. Once you complete residency, you will then start your payback time. The scholarship demands payback as an attending. It's a minimum of 4 years of payback time, and that amount of payback time changes depending on the length of your residency. So if your
residency is 4 years or less,
you owe 4 years.
But if your residency is greater than 4 years, 5 or 6, you now owe 5 or 6 years as an attending. So it's whichever is greater. You either pay back the 4 years for medical school or you pay back however many years you did of residency as an attending.
That's it. That's the program. That was a big overview. A lot of questions you guys can ask, and we'll address them in the second part. Anyways, I'm moving on to the next part of this video.
Now I'm going to talk about the application requirements for this program. They're actually very simple. 1, you need to be a U.S. citizen. 2, you need to be able to pass a military physical, what they call MEPS, and you have to have a clean background check. And 3, the most important one, is you have to be accepted into a U.S. medical school, an MD or DO program. This is the most important part. People like to ask, well, how competitive is, how do I get it? How competitive is it? The secret is,
It's not. It's not competitive because really, if you get into medical school,
they'll hunt you down themselves. You don't even have to go looking for it. They will come find you.
now I'm going to talk about some common misconceptions and some questions that I've seen in the DMs. One is that someone thinks that you can only do primary care. No, you can do nearly every specialty in the military, even ortho, even derm. The only thing I think you should be super careful about is 1, PM&R and neurosurgery.
PM&R, they don't have, I think they just started a pilot program to try to create a PM&R residency, but it's still not solidified. So if that's something that you know you want to do, I would definitely think twice before you take this scholarship because the military doesn't really have those residency spots. And in neurosurgery, I think last time I checked, there's only 1 neurosurgery spot in the entire military match. That's crazy. That's hella competitive. But everything else is fair game. Yeah, they're going to be competitive for things that are already competitive, if that makes sense. Like, if it's competitive in the civilian world, it is competitive in the military world. It's just because it's just a competitive specialty, like, period. Someone asked if you can be deployed during medical school. The answer is just no. You will not ever be deployed during medical school or residency. The only time you can be deployed is once you've completed all of your training and you're a full attending. And the amount that you will deploy as a, attending physician in the military depends really on your specialty and the needs. For instance, a radiologist is probably not going to deploy a lot at all. Maybe one time in 4 years, and then versus like a trauma surgeon. They gotta need those. They gotta need those. So like that's that question.
This video is actually getting quite long, so I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to say in part 2, I will talk about how residency works. I'll talk about residency salary and benefits and the differences between that and the civilian world.
I'll talk about my path and what I have done and what my experience has actually been doing the scholarship and going to medical school. I'll just be addressing a lot of questions that come up from this video itself. So if you have a question that you really want answered, comment it below and I'll make part 2, I guess, within a week from now.